Hello, everyone, and today I'm doing a book review for the series The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Myers. I recently finished reading The Lunar Chronicles, the four main books of the series, and The Lunar Chronicles, it's a sci-fi fairy tale retelling series by Marissa Meyer, and I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about this series, which I'll share a little bit later in the video. But this series puts a futuristic spacefaring twist on classic fairy tales like Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, and Snow White, blending them also with political intrigue, mind control, pandemics, and revolution. It's an extremely creative concept, and while I enjoyed parts of the journey, I also have some critiques that left me feeling a bit conflicted about the series. But first, I'll go over what I liked about the series. Number one, the story. Now, I won't really spoil the story if those of you that are wanting to read it, but it is really good, and I just really enjoyed it. And also the characters. I enjoyed majority of the characters and their character arcs. Majority of them. Even the villains. Even though they are manipulative and they are evil, but it just works. My favorite character I'd probably say is Wolf, kind of seeing his journey through this series. Now, there are some things that happened to him that really just sort of broke my heart, and it was like, oh man, that really hurts. Now, I won't say what those things are, but those of you that know, you know. And then there's Cinder, who's kind of like the main protagonist of the series. She is a cyborg mechanic living in New Beijing during the deadly plague outbreak. Then there's Scarlet. Now, at first, I didn't really like Scarlet, and the second book, which is called Scarlet, it was kind of hard to get through that book because sometimes Scarlet is just so annoying. But she does have a good character arc, which kind of makes it easier she becomes more bearable, basically. And then there's Cress. She is a hacker imprisoned in a satellite, and at first Cress kind of starts off as awkward and nervous, but then she grows into her confidence, and it's really nice to see. And there's Winter, who is a princess who is slowly going mad from refusing to use her mind control powers, and she has a really good reason for it, although I won't spoil what that reason is, but it is really interesting to see. And then there's so many other characters I could just go on and on about. Number three, or no, not three, I'm skipping. Number two is the sci-fi and fairy tale blending and mixing together my two favorite things in one series. The world building is rich, especially with the concept of Luna, the colony on the moon, and its citizens who wield powers of glamour and manipulation. I also really like the plague subplot. It had real stakes, and watching how it tied into the Lunar Queen's sinister plans was really interesting. Now, another thing I really like, number three, is the powers, which I kind of talked about already, but the powers that they have. The concept of the lunar mind control in Glamour was really interesting to me. It gave the characters real power struggles and added a moral sort of complexity, especially when some characters refused to use their powers because of the potential for harm it did on others. Now I'll go over what I didn't like. Number one, the ending. While Winter wrapped up the major plot lines, I found the ending underwhelming. Cinder choosing to give up her crown and return to being a mechanic felt anticlimactic. And I kind of wanted more. Yeah, she becomes the queen, but then she's talking about, eventually she's going to, not be queen and then just be a mechanic again. And it felt like, what is. I don't really like series that end kind of the same way they started. That's what I'll say about that. Like Cinder's character arc, she didn't really grow into being a queen. She kind of just ended where she started. And even though Emperor Kai asked her to like be the empress, she kind of gives a maybe to it. So it's still good, but I would have loved for her to lean into being queen or kind of have that character arc of that. So it just kind of felt disappointing. Number two, the romantic relationships. A lot of these relationships in this series kind of felt forced, especially Scarlet and Wolf's relationship. When in the same scene, she goes from hating him for being involved in her grandma's kidnapping to kissing him. And it just made no sense. And it was kind of just like, what? Like, why? And a lot of the couples, actually all of the romantic relationships, they'll go from, being very deep in their feelings with each other and kissing each other and all this stuff to, being emotionally distant and kind of confused. Are they in a relationship or whatever? Are they girlfriend and boyfriend? And with no reason at all. And it happens with every relationship in this series, and it makes it really repetitive and boring when it just happens over and over again. It's like, okay, we've already seen this. We've already done this. Number three, the perspective shifts. Well, the multiple point of views, it can be interesting, but in this series, sometimes it made it feel kind of confusing when it's constantly jumping between different characters because it's kind of confusing. Like, where are the characters at? What are they doing? Sometimes you don't really know. And it also kind of repeats the same scene from different perspectives, but it's not really interesting. Like, it's not really adding anything interesting. It just feels repetitive. So that's kind of my thoughts about it. Now, I will rank these books from most favorite to least favorite in the series. Number one, the first book, Cinder. That is my favorite book for the overall series. It is so well done, and it just made me wanting more. It was so fresh. It was so intriguing, and there's so many things that were happening that were just really, really interesting. My second favorite book is Cress. Now, I would have put Winter above Cress, except for the ending in Winter. Like I said, it was just really disappointing. So that's the reason why I put Cress above Winter, even though I do really like the book Cress as well. I would have put Winter above Cress if it just had a better ending. So that's the only reason why Cress is number two and Winter is three. Lastly is Scarlet, my least favorite. That is because Scarlet herself is extremely frustrating at times. And even though in the book Scarlet she was still at the end of the book still kind of annoying. But at the end of the series she does get better, but it was just kind of really hard to get through that book because it's just like, oh my god, Scarlet, why? It's like, oh, a character that just irks you, but it's like the main character, and it's like, oh my god. It was just really hard to get through. But overall, what I'd rate this series at is 3.5 stars for me. So that is my thoughts and feelings about the series. Let me know what is your thoughts and feelings about the series overall. This is just my personal opinion. There's gonna be other people that, enjoy this series a lot more than me. Maybe they put it out of 5 or whatever. Doesn't really matter. It's just my personal opinion. Alright, so that is all that I have to say, and I will see you all later.